What happens when the update designed to make an AI safer also makes it noticeably worse at its job? That is exactly what happened with Anthropic's latest Claude safety update, and the data is hard to ignore. Anthropic is one of the most safety-focused AI labs in the world. That is not marketing copy. The company was founded specifically because its founders believed AI development was moving too fast without enough guardrails. So when Anthropic releases a safety update, people pay attention. This latest update rolled out quietly, but within days, developers and researchers started noticing something odd. Claude was not performing as well on a specific category of tasks, complex, multi-step instruction following. And the drop was measurable, not just anecdotal. Let's look at the benchmark numbers first, because that is where the story starts. On standard instruction following evaluations, Claude's scores on chained and conditional tasks fell by a margin that is significant enough to affect real-world use cases. We are not talking about a rounding error. To be specific, tasks that require Claude to hold multiple constraints in mind simultaneously, like writing code that meets 5 conditions at once, or drafting a document that follows a strict format while avoiding certain topics, showed the clearest regression. These are exactly the kinds of tasks developers rely on Claude for in production. So what did Anthropic actually change? The update targeted Claude's behavior at inference time, meaning the decisions the model makes in the moment when it is generating a response. Specifically, Anthropic adjusted how Claude weighs instructions that could be interpreted as pushing toward a harmful output. To understand why that caused a side effect, you need to know a little about constitutional AI, which is Anthropic's core alignment framework. Constitutional AI teaches Claude to evaluate its own outputs against a set of principles, almost like an internal checklist, before finalizing a response. The update appears to have made that internal checklist more aggressive. Claude now flags a wider range of instruction patterns as potentially risky and responds by simplifying or partially refusing them. The intention was to reduce harmful compliance. The unintended result was that some completely legitimate, complex instructions got caught in the same net. This is what researchers call the alignment tax. Every time you push an AI model to be safer, you risk paying a cost in raw capability. The model becomes more cautious, and caution, taken too far, looks a lot like incompetence from the user's perspective. The alignment tax is not unique to Anthropic or to Claude. OpenAI has dealt with it. Google has dealt with it. Every lab that has tried to make a frontier model safer has, at some point, made that model less capable in some specific way. The difference here is that Anthropic's trade-off is unusually visible because Claude was already known for being strong at instruction following. When you compare Claude's current performance on these tasks to GPT-4o and Gemini 1.5, the gap is real. Claude was previously competitive or ahead on several instruction following benchmarks. After the update, it falls behind on the specific subcategory of multi-constraint tasks. That is a meaningful shift for anyone choosing between these tools for a workflow. For developers using Claude via the API, this has practical consequences. If your application chains prompts, uses system instructions alongside user instructions, or relies on Claude managing a complex set of rules simultaneously, you may need to test your existing setup again. Some workflows that worked reliably before may now produce inconsistent outputs. It is also worth noting what Anthropic has not done wrong here. The company published documentation explaining the safety goals behind this update. The intention was transparent. And the tasks where Claude regressed are not simple tasks. Anthropic made a calculated decision that reducing certain harmful outputs was worth the performance cost. You can disagree with that call, but it was a deliberate one. There is a broader conversation this update forces us to have. As AI models become more capable, the stakes of both safety failures and capability failures get higher. A model that refuses a legitimate instruction in a medical, legal, or engineering context is not just annoying. It is genuinely harmful in a different way. Anthropic has indicated this is not the final word. The company treats safety and capability as a long-term research problem, not a fixed trade-off. Future versions of Claude are expected to address the regression through better techniques that do not require sacrificing instruction-following accuracy to achieve safer outputs. The most useful takeaway for anyone watching this is simple. Model updates are not always improvements in every direction. When a lab prioritizes safety, capability in specific areas can drop. When a lab prioritizes capability, safety risks can rise. Neither direction is automatically right. Context matters. If you are a developer or a business using Claude right now, the practical advice is this: run your specific use case through a quick benchmark before assuming the update is neutral for your workflow. Document your results. And watch Anthropic's changelog closely over the next few weeks, because a patch addressing this regression is likely. If you found this breakdown useful, hit the like button because it helps other developers and AI users find this kind of analysis. Subscribe so you do not miss the next video, where we go deep on how the alignment tax works across all the major AI labs and which models are currently winning the safety capability balance. That one is worth sticking around for.